Hello, this is going to be 2 battles in Attila the Great's tournament, and I was let in as a last minute replacement because I didn't see the announcement for the tournament. A player dropped out and then I jumped in at the chance to get some tournament battles in. But this is after casting 10 games in a row, I believe. So I didn't have the time to get any practice games in. I was kind of nervous going in, and the faction pick was a bit special because each player was to pick 3 factions. Then player 2 was to pick his faction for the battle, and player 1 was going to counter with one of the 3 factions he chose. So Poccopacs, my opponent, he picked the Boii, he picked Pontus and Carthage. I picked Rome, Carthage and the Aravaci. So in the first matchup, I believe I picked Rome, and then he countered with the Boii, and the Boii are not really a counter to Rome, they are more a match because they can bring a lot of cost-effective sword units. But I have my plan ready. I'm going to charge targets of high opportunity with my Soci Equites to rob them of their charge bonuses. Then I'm just going to pile in my Evocati, my Veteran Legionaries and my Hastati. So I have a line consisting of 6 Hastati. I believe I have 4 Evocati, 2 Veteran Legionaries, 2 Balearic Slingers, 2 Soci Equites Extraordinari and 2 Legionary Cavalry. Very strong infantry and very Rome. So Poccopacs brought a central line consisting of 2 sword followers on each flank, a Celtic warrior in the center, Oathsworn general in the center, 2 Celtic warriors on each flank. He also has some axe warriors on the flanks together with some naked warriors, 2 naked warriors, a unit of levy freemen, and then he has 5 units of heavy horse, so no skirmishers, just infantry and strong cavalry, which is a good choice against Rome when you're the Boii. So I want to take out these naked warriors as quickly as possible, because they can get really dangerous if they get good charges on my guys. So I'm going to play a bit risky here. I'm going to use my shock cavalry extremely aggressively, and then I'm going to pile in the units and rob as many of his units of their charge bonuses as possible. Charge! My Balearic Slingers are going to be used in taking care of his general and his naked swords, and it doesn't look like he sees what I'm doing here, so I'm going to be able to get a good charge on these units. The naked warriors are kind of pulling away, but I'm getting a really nice charge on them, and that's going to really wreck the naked warriors. They're losing about 60 men on the charge there, so really devastating stuff from the Soci Equites. And this is going to allow me to charge into the levy freemen, destroy them, so very useful charge there by my cavalry units. Then I'm going to be able to pile in with the Veteran Legionaries and the Hastati. Over here I did send out my Hastati and my Legionary Cavalry to deal with this heavy horse. Then I'm going to pile these guys in. The Evocati is not going to get a good charge because I miss-microed here. In the center I'm just matching things up, sending things forward, going into the sword followers, stopping his sword followers with my cavalry. Then I'm going in with the Hastati and the Veteran Legionaries. So now I'm being able to fire at his Oathsworn, but he has a cavalry unit coming in here. And his heavy horse is not going to go for my skirmishers, fortunately for me. He's going to go for my general. And over here I'm losing both my Legionary Cavalry and my Hastati, but I can kind of afford it. His naked warriors are doing well, not doing so well when they get javelins to the face. And these naked warriors over here, they are doing some damage, but they were very depleted by the initial cav charge. 79 kills already on the Soci Equites. So these blobs are fairly nice for me. I have my Evocati matched up against his Oathsworn, backed up by Hastati. Ideally it should be the other way around. I'm focusing fire on the heavy horse. I'm charging into the heavy horse with my Soci Equites, and they should do well against the heavy horse on the charge. But there is support coming in from both sides for Poccopacs. But overall this game is looking very good. It's I have a cavalry unit free to charge into the rear of his Oathsworn general, which is of course very important. Sword followers are also going to take a lot of damage from this. And this cavalry unit is going to go unopposed for quite some time, and is going to be able to get some really nice kills and some really nice charges. He's going to try to pull out some Oathsworn. That's going to do more damage to them because they are engaged. So I'm fairly confident about how this is going. I defeated his heavy horse on the charge. I need to get them out because there's levy freemen coming in. And I have to keep them sort of away from my skirmishers, but there are too many cavalry units left for Poccopacs, so he will probably be able to get at my skirmishers. I can get one final charge here with my Sociaequites before they bite the dust, and I'm going to take that opportunity to rear charge his sword followers, rear charge his heavy horse, and that did a lot of damage to both units. Both are going to start to waver. I did get counter charge though, but that was worth it just because I'm going to be able to destroy these two units. So I forgot to pull out my Sociaequites, pretty bad mistake there. I'm winning on the flanks. The center is fairly stable. I got rear charge by naked warriors here, which is not good. My veteran legionaries are going to grind it out well against his Celtic warriors and his levy freemen over there. And the most important part of the battle is no doubt here, where his Oathsworn is surrounded by my Evocati, my Hastati and another Hastati. So the Oathsworn general should go down pretty soon. His horse managed to get into my auxiliary Balearic slingers, but they're going to get hit by javelins and charged by Evocati. So they actually won't be able to finish my auxiliary Balearic slingers. He's going to move them out, and that's going to do some more damage to the heavy horse. I'm losing on the flanks here. The center is looking very good for me. Getting another rear charge on his sword followers, so they broke. His Oathsworn are going to break. And at this point it's basically a GG. I'm just going to fast forward because the rest of the game is basically just mopping up units. He still has some cavalry left. It's going to continue to take damage here, but the cavalry could potentially be very dangerous if he's able to get good rear charges. But I have a lot more units than he has. I still have my Balearic slingers. They're going to be useful in taking down the naked warriors. So the naked warriors, 58 kills, nothing amazing, but they are fairly cheap units. His heavy horse though is getting quite a lot of kills, and this heavy horse as well, so I need to be careful because this unit of veteran legionaries is on the move and it won't be able to stand up to the charges, so I'm peeling up a unit of Hastati to throw some javelins his way. Hopefully that's going to be enough to take them down. Here we have the javelins. Nope, out of range. They just threw air at them. So I'm going to be able to fire with my Balearic slingers, charge the levy freeman with the Hastati, and he didn't pull through here. The reason why that happened was because he had attack orders on the auxiliary Balearic slingers, and they continued to charge past my units, so no foul play by Poccopacs there. Charging into the heavy horse is doing a lot of damage to my Hastati, but they did manage to stop them for a while. The same is going to happen here. They're going to do a lot of damage to the Hastati, but the Hastati is going to stop the heavy horse from getting very important rear charges here. And now I might be able to grind it out against his Celtic warriors and his Axe warriors. Heavy horse going down, turned around this Evocati to face them, so these units aren't getting rear charged. And at this point it's a GG. So the important parts here, I think, were the early cavalry charges, and of course the just having a lot of units to expend and to grind down the Boii army. So I didn't have a whole lot of units left at the end there, 1800 kills against 1400. His Axe warriors did okay, nothing amazing on either of these units. The cavalry did the best out of his units. His Oathsworn was neutralized. My Evocati did well, my veteran legionaries did well, some of my Stati did very well. And the Sociaequites didn't do a massive amount of damage, but they did do some very important rear charging. So the first battle went to me, 1-0. In the next battle, Poccopacs is going to use Carthage as my Tylis, and this is against my Tylis. And this is actually the third battle, because I didn't save the second battle. The second battle was Pontus against Carthage, and I wish I'd saved that one, because it basically came down to him using his chariot very well, and me not using my noble general to stop the chariot effectively enough. So I did get some shots off on the chariot, but I did not manage to stop it because I sent my general in to attack his general, which enabled me to destroy his general, but his chariots was too much to deal with. And he also brought 4 of the mercenary naked swords, and since the mercenary naked swords are priced at 380 now instead of 480, it's actually going to allow Pontus to bring an extra unit of, for example, Gallic mercenary Celtic or Gallic warriors. So that's pretty massive that they're able to bring an extra unit and still bring their pretty good swords, because naked swords might not be worth it at 480, but at 380 they are an awesome infantry killing tool. So, but it is allowed in this tournament. I don't know if Attila was aware of the pricing mistake there. But anyway, in this battle we have Tylis against Carthage, and the build is for me 6 Celtic warriors, 2 mercenary Thracian peltasts, 2 noble horse, 2 levy freemen, and 1 raiding horse. I also have, I believe, 4 Celtic warriors. So I'm just going to start out by baiting javelins with these levy freemen, try to get some shots off, make him waste his Numidian cavalry. He has 2 Numidian cavalry, 3 mercenary Iberian cavalry, 1 African war elephant, 4 mercenary Iberian swords, 2 late Libyan hoplites. He has 2 mercenary noble fighters on each flank, and a center consisting of mercenary Gallic warriors, Libyan infantry, and mercenary Gallic warriors. So infantry-wise, he actually has the advantage here, because my tribal warriors, although they are pretty tanky, they are going to lose heavily to mercenary noble fighters. And while I can do fairly well against his Gallic warriors, I won't do too well against the Libyan infantry and against the Scutari on the charge. Well, on the charge I'm going to do well, but the low melee attack of the tribal warriors is going to be a bit of a problem here. So I need to deal with the elephants, of course, and I brought these 3 units specifically to deal with the elephants. I was going to bring 4 raiding horse to make sure that I could get them where I need them to be. But I asked a few other players about what build they would bring about against Carthage, and Panda Warrior, he suggested this type of build. I also asked Greek Heracles, he suggested something very similar to this. So this is what I brought. I would really have liked to bring more of these raiding horse. I think that would have been very useful, because it's easy to avoid peltasts, while it's not easy to avoid raiding horse because they are so fast. But anyway, I went for that, and let's see how it goes. So, baiting more javelins from the mercenary Numidians, they are getting active, so what I want to do is I want to tire them out with my levy freemen, and then I want to send my raiding horse in when they are getting tired, these guys, and winded, so that I'm able to engage them in melee and destroy them. So, javelins coming in, taking care of some more Numidian cavalry, but this is the really important part. Raiding horse are going to be faster than these guys because they are winded. They're going to be able to ride after them, which means that they will fire javelins into the rear of these guys. And since these guys have shields, they're going to be able to block the missiles, while these guys won't. So I'm pretty happy about being able to take out the mercenary Numidian cavalry this quickly. Also, the formation helps me because I'm spread out, and I'm able to tie down a lot of units and stop myself from getting too much fire. But I make a micro mistake here, and I forget to turn off fire at will. So these guys are firing while they're running, which is all well and good. These guys would break anyway, because they're being constantly attacked in the rear. They are slower than I am now. But this is also going to expend very important javelins that I should have been using on the elephants. So that was the plan, and this is why I like to have redundancy in raiding horse, so that it doesn't depend on that one unit. And you can kind of see what his plan is here. Just keep his elephants in reserve, use the mercenary Iberian swords to fire at my guys, and try to win the infantry engagement that way. So at this point I bring back my raiding horse, I send out my noble horse to attack his mercenary Iberian cavalry. Then the engagements are going to start happening, matching up Celtic warriors against Scutari. They're going to do okay when charging. Matching up tribal warriors against noble fighters, and they're going to lose horribly to the noble fighters. The same over here. The Gallic warriors are going to die quickly, but these guys are a problem. The levy freemen are nice enough to support with some javelins, but I really need to engage his Iberian swords in the center, so they aren't able to fire too much at me. So I'm going to be able to redirect here against the Libyan infantry. The tribal warriors redirect against the mercenary Gallic warriors, and the Celtic warriors are going to go into the mercenary Gallic warriors here. They're not going to get they're going to get countercharged at the last second, also getting into some of these mercenary Iberian swords. But here is where I basically lose the game, because these guys, the raiding horse, are now out of ammunition. And although they already took care of 2 units of mercenary Numidian cavalry, my plan was to send them in and fire at the elephants at point blank range. Sending these guys in here made him push away his African war elephants. I did not have any javelins left, so now I had to. Now you can see I have attack orders on the elephants with my Thracian peltasts, but for some reason they're firing at these guys instead. So I don't know what that was about. I don't even have attack orders on these guys, and they're still firing at them. So that's strange. Now I gave attack orders to the mercenary noble fighters to take them down. Going for a rear charge there with my noble horse, but they got stopped by the mercenary Iberian cavalry. They should be able to win against the mercenary Iberian cavalry. I'm winning in the center, but I am taking a lot of fire. My Oathsworn general is fine, so I'm going to send in the noble horse to take care of his Iberian swords. They are caught on the move, and the noble horse are going to get a lot of kills this way, tie up some very important units. But I am not able to push through my peltasts to get in range of his elephants. You can see I'm just missing. And I can't pull away this way because he's winning that fight, so his mercenary Iberian cavalry is going to be able to get at my guys. And now the mercenary Thracian peltas are firing into the blob instead of firing at the elephants, so this is massively important. There's also cavalry coming in towards my peltas, so I'm a bit worried now because this battle is decidedly in my favor. But if I can't take care of the elephants, then I am in big trouble. So stopping the mercenary Iberians with tribal warriors, and these guys, I'm going to run them a bit away because the mercenary Iberian cavalry charged through my tribal warriors since they weren't braced. And I'm giving attack orders here on the mercenary Iberian cavalry, so I'll be able to take it down quicker and save this unit. But that means I'm not going to be able to get attack orders on the elephants. As you can see, I'm just out of range. I managed to hit them with some javelins, but not enough to make them run amok. So that is pretty important. He's also going to be able to chase after me with his late Libyan hoplites. And over here my tribal warriors are probably going to lose against these mercenary noble fighters. My general is going to do well against the mercenary Iberian swords. I'm beating the mercenary Iberian swords fairly decisively. But he's just winning on this flank, and now that he's able to send in his African war elephants. And here's another thing. When I gave attack orders on the African war elephants, I wasn't able to throw javelins, and I think that's because they're aiming for the center of the unit. When the elephants are spread out, that means that the center of the unit might be further back than the first elephant, so they are actually able to get into units and destroy them because the frontmost elephants aren't taking fire. So grinding it out against his mercenary noble fighters, but not doing too well. It's winning. The unit is winning slightly. My Oathsworn general is doing well. My Thracian peltasts are going to be able to defeat this mercenary Iberian cavalry, and they actually ran out of ammunition, so that's why I'm using them in melee. I still have this unit, but I need to pull it away. He managed to charge into me with his late Libyan hoplites. My Oathsworn general is going to charge his late Libyan hoplites. And I'm going to get into his mercenary Iberian swords with my noble horse after winning in the center. The elephants are just cleaning up on this flank because I had my skirmishers too far away, and this was why I wanted to have more raiding horse, so that I could just support wherever I needed against the elephants. But unfortunately, since I had fire at will on, I managed to basically waste my ammunition on the Numidians. That weren't really a threat. So my general is charging in here, getting a nice charge on the Libyan infantry in the center. My tribal warriors are going to lose, but I'm going to be able to take care of the Libyan infantry fairly well. But this flank is very worrying to me. At this point I only have this one unit left to deal with the elephants, and the elephants are going to be able to stay away. I forget about this unit that came back from routing, and I just gave those guys a volley to destroy them quickly, so I could go for rear charges with my noble horse general. This charge is pretty important, because it's going to break the mercenary Iberian swords. My Oathsworn is now up against Libyan infantry, they'll be able to defeat them quickly. Here we have the morale effect of the elephants coming into play. They could have grinded it out for longer against the mercenary noble fighters, but because of the elephants they're just going to break instantly. So I'm still chasing after the elephants, and here you can see it. Although there are elephants in range, they are going to be aiming here instead of aiming for the back elephants. So that's something to keep in mind against moving elephants, that it might seem like you're in range, but if you're not in range of the center of the unit, you aren't going to be able to fire. So Oathstone General holding well here against the Libyan infantry. I'm giving a counter charge while rear charging the Libyan infantry, so I'll be able to break the Libyan infantry quickly and then go up against the mercenary noble fighters. And I have 74 Oathstone against his 70 noble fighters. So my general is a strategist, so I'll be able to use battle rhythm and headhunt and the second wind to good effect against these units. So I should be able to win here actually in shield wall. And it looks like I am doing fairly well. The problem is these elephants. I haven't been able to get off any good volleys on them yet. I'm going to charge this unit because it's following my mercenary Thracian peltasts. And just having these few units left is going to enable him to shield his elephants fairly well. I'm getting a nice rear charge against his late Libyan hoplites, so that should break them pretty quickly because they are losing the combat as well. So only these two units left. Now it's all coming down to if I can get that very important volley off on his elephants. And it doesn't look like I am able to. Because I'm moving my guys over here to get in position, I have to run away from these guys, and there the volley comes. I'm able to get at these mercenary noble fighters with my cavalry. They are stopping, pulling out, and now I'm going to be able to get the volley. If my general can just hold for a little while longer, I can get the volleys off and make the elephants run amok. The elephants are running amok. They're going to do some damage to his mercenary noble fighters. They broke my general, but unfortunately the elephants are running amok away. I think they're running amok against my Oathstone. I am able to take down the elephants quickly now, so if I manage to do this, it might be a GG. My levy freemen have not started coming back here, so that is pretty massive. Now there are only these 3 units left on the field, 2 units for me. And I'm going to use... They are firing at the mercenary noble fighters. I wanted to try and break them really quickly, but it looks like I wasn't able to, so I'm going to charge after the Libyan infantry instead. I want to use my levy freeman in using javelins on him, so I'm just going to kite away and charge after this late Libyan hoplite. And if I can make the elephants run amok one more time, that might actually kill his remaining units and make the elephants rout off the field. So that's my one remaining chance. I managed the elephants badly. I didn't have as much missile support as I would have liked to, mostly because I wasted my javelins on my my cavalry. So I didn't follow the plan originally. I went for a target of opportunity that was a much lower priority target than the elephants. So that was pretty bad decision making by me there. And this is why I'm in this situation here, because I didn't prioritize the elephants enough early enough. So here you can see another instance of the levy freemen being in range of the elephants, but not being in range of the center of the unit. So they want to start throwing their javelins basically now, but that's too late because the front elephants are much too close. And then they won't be able to throw their javelins, they're just charging in normally. And that's a GG basically. So this battle ended with 2-1 victory for Poccopacs against me, and I actually lost both battles because I made 2 big prioritizing mistakes in not prioritizing the African war elephants enough. Because I won the infantry fight in both instances, I won the cavalry fight, but I wasn't able to capitalize on it by dealing with the elephants and the chariots, because it needs to be said, Poccopacs used his elephants and his chariots very well in this battle. But just imagine if this raiding horse had even 2 volleys left for the elephants, or I would have managed to sneak these guys, get a few more volleys off on the mercenary Thracian peltas. So it sucked pretty bad to lose like this, because it was so close. Look at the kills here, super close, super close on the kills. But my tribals didn't perform very well against his especially against his Libyan infantry and against his mercenary noble fighters. They did well against the Scutari, they did well against the mercenary Gallic warriors. These guys got their kills against levy freemen mostly. His cavalry didn't really do much, but it was very important in that it made me waste this unit. Although it got nice kills, it didn't get the important kills it needed. So the Oathsworn did extremely well, and this type of the result here almost makes me wish that I had gone with my original plan of 5 Oathsworn, 5 Celtic Warriors, and the rest raiding horse. So I did get a good build from Panda Warrior, but I wasn't able to use it effectively enough, and mainly because of not prioritizing the elephants at an early enough stage and keeping my mercenary Thracian peltas together, so they had to both move the same direction. Was a pretty big mistake on my part. So good game, well played to Poccopacs. I am out of the tournament in the first round, so that sucks for me, but it's good for Poccopacs. So good luck to him in the coming battles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.